and I would watch my stories. I lived vicariously through B.A. Baracus and the rest of the A-Team. And whenever we played A-Team on the playground, I made sure that I was a Christian B.A. Baracus. I pity the fool who violates the golden rule. I even remember having a dream as a 5-year-old about being a guest star on Seventh Heaven and becoming the love interest of Jessica Biel, who played a very attractive oldest daughter. And we lived happily ever after in a loving, monogamous relationship. I was 5 years old, people. And it was that day that I realized that getting out of there was now a matter of life and death. And it was time for my little self to come up with a plan to make my escape. Oh, man. I got it. I'll get by through middle school and high school on my awkward charm and burgeoning good looks. After that, I'll get a job. I'll get a car, escape this stupid town, and go straight to Hollywood. And when I win my Oscar, I'm going to invite my dad. And he'll be so proud of me. And I'll call him up to the podium, and I'll take my Oscar, and I'll smack him right over the head with it. Yeah. I'm going to call this plan Operation Freedom. And later that day, I drove up to the city to audition for the producers of the Maury Povich Show, and I charmed the hell out of them. Josh, Booby, listen. We're going to use you for our Sexy Opposites episode, which will feature an array of different couples. Among them will be an African-American little person and an old normal-sized white man, a Jewish grandmother who speaks in haiku, and her high school-aged boyfriend. And you, my friend, will be playing a white trash version of yourself, who is engaged to his long-distance girlfriend, Kimmy. You 3 couples are going to be the stars of this episode. Congratulations, Booby. You're going to be on network television. The co-star of a Maury Povich episode. This was going to be great for my career. Hey, Josh, I should go first. I've got some bad news. They found your father in his room this morning, and, he took something and, he killed himself. And it's him and me alone, mano a mano, man to man. And I stood there for what was probably a few minutes, but it felt like hours. I wanted to speak, but nothing would come out. And then, somehow, all I could do was utter a whisper. Hey, man. What the hell? Huh? Your dad did this, and now you? What were you thinking? I'm going to miss you. And I love you. I am never going to kill myself. I promise you that. And I never knew how difficult it would be to keep that promise. This is kind of the part where we switch over and we pretend that there's a curtain and some lights down. Just to give you a little context, I lost my dad in 2009, and he lost his dad in 1966. So I wrote this piece in 2009 into 2010. I put it up in New York City. Beginning of 2011, I went through my own suicidal crisis. I did come across some really, really interesting information that gave me a lot of joy and a lot of hope that suicide is preventable, and that, you know, you and I and we all can get help for each other. And that was interesting to me because I thought it was inevitable. I thought, you know, my grandfather, my father, I'm next. And that's not the case. I'm not a slave to my heritage. I'm not a slave to my brain. I can make decisions. I can make choices. I can put in safety nets. Just like, you know, if you know you have alcoholism in your family, you can put in certain safety nets and precautions and things like that, heart disease, anything like that. I can do the same thing with depression and a history of suicide in my family. So that's what I do. Didn't do that right away, but I do that now. You know, I want to talk about how and where to get help, what suicide and depression look like, you know, how to help a friend, and what recovery looks like. I'm certainly a prideful person. I've been in the past. You know, I've been working since I was 15, paying all my bills. I didn't need anybody. I got this. I can take care of it. I'm, you know, a guy. I don't need instructions. I got it all. But you know what? If I let my pride continue, my pride was going to get me killed. So I had to ask for help. People ask me all the time, if I say the word suicide, if I ask somebody about it, isn't that going to make them do it? And the answer to that question is 150% no. Bad things happen all the time. You know, but I wanted to be able to do something where when I fall, I want to be able to bounce and not break. I have these tools that I put in my resiliency toolbox. And they were tremendous for my recovery, and they are things that are sort of staples in my life. that it's not work anymore. They're just good habits. I had to go out of the house, and I had to force myself to go see friends. Isolating was not going to be something that would be good for my long-term health and mental health. Creative writing was big for me, and it wasn't like, and I don't say you've got to be a creative writer, but creativity is wonderful. It took it engaged another piece of my brain and helped me map out certain things that I needed to work out. And, you know, creativity, it doesn't matter what you do. If you make a macaroni necklace, do a tap dance, I don't care, whatever makes you feel better. If you're going through something like I went through, you know, depression, anything really, if there's something you can't handle, get help immediately. You know, don't try to think you can do it all. Nip it in the bud before it can become prolonged depression or suicidal thoughts, because there's a good chance if I didn't get help the day I got help, I might not be here right now. And every day is a gift.